A woman's mouth is trained to lie. It is a biological defense mechanism. From the time she is a child, she's taught to be polite, to be social, to soften the blow. If you're waiting for a woman to verbally announce, "I want you," you will die waiting. Or worse, you will remain in the friend zone while a man who understands the silent language takes her home. The truth is darker. A woman's desire does not live in her words. It lives in her nervous system. It lives in the involuntary spasms, the shifts in gravity, the chemical need to be near a source of masculine power. She cannot control these signals because she isn't choosing them. Her biology is most men are blind. They look for smiles. They look for kindness. They confuse friendliness with desire and they get burned. Today, we are going to perform an autopsy on female attraction. I am going to show you the 7 signals that bypass her logic and reveal her raw, unfiltered intent. What you're about to learn is not pickup artistry. It is evolutionary psychology stripped of its politeness. Once you see these signs, you cannot unsee them. You will walk into a room and it will look like the Matrix Code. You will know exactly who is available, who is pretending, and who is secretly begging for you to close the distance. But be warned, there is a specific signal, the 7th one, that is the most dangerous because it looks exactly like rejection to the untrained eye. If you react to it with insecurity, you lose her instantly. If you react to it with the strategy, "I will give you," she becomes addicted. We are going to dismantle the polite facade of dating. We are going to look at the animal beneath the makeup. Sign number 1, the collapse of the intimate radius. Every human being walks around with an invisible force field. Psychologists call it proxemics. It is a bubble of about 18 into 3 ft that represents safety. If a stranger enters this zone, your heart rate spikes. Your body prepares for combat or flight. It is an act of aggression unless it is an act of submission. When a woman wants you, she wants to be invaded. Not in a crude way, but in an energetic way. Watch the gap between you. A woman who's merely being polite will maintain the social distance. She will keep the table between you. She will stand at arm's length. She's protecting her energy. But a woman who desires you will subconsciously collapse this radius. She finds excuses to be inside your guard. She leans in to hear you. Even if the room is quiet, she stands next to you, not across from you. If you're sitting on a couch, she doesn't sit on the other end. She sits just close enough that your heat signatures overlap. This is gravity. Attraction is physical weight. Test it. It's called the vacuum test. When you are talking to her, take a half step back. Create a void. A woman who is indifferent will stay where she is. She is relieved to have the space. But a woman who wants you will step forward. She cannot help it. Her body is trying to equalize the pressure. She needs to be within your gravitational pull because outside of it, she feels cold. She won't notice she did it, but you will. She is trying to merge her personal space with yours. She is signaling that you are not a threat. You are the destination. Sign number 2, the biological pin. You see this in birds. You see this in primates. And if you pay attention, you see it in the woman sitting across from you. When a woman feels the spike of attraction, her body is flooded with dopamine and adrenaline. This creates nervous energy. She has to do something with her hands. She has to do something with this excess voltage. So, she starts to groom herself. She smooths her hair. She adjusts her necklace. She reapplies gloss that doesn't need reapplying. She fixes a strap that wasn't falling. Most men think, "Oh, she's just fidgeting." No, she's preparing the product for the buyer. Deep in her evolutionary brain, a switch has flipped that says, a potential high VI value mate is present. Optimize appearance immediately. It is a submissive display. She is making herself visually pleasing for your consumption, but there is a darker layer to this. Watch where she touches. If she touches her neck, her throat, or the inside of her wrist, pay close attention. These are the most vulnerable parts of the human anatomy. The carotid artery, the veins. In the wild, a predator goes for the throat. To expose the throat to another creature is the ultimate sign of trust. It is saying, "I trust you with my life." Or in the context of seduction, "I want you to dominate me." She is unconsciously drawing your eye to her softest points. She is asking to be touched. She is tracing the path she wants your hands to take. If she's playing with a necklace while looking at you, she isn't worried about the jewelry. She's trying to get you to look at her skin. Do not compliment her on it. Just watch. Let her pin. Let her feel your eyes on her. The silence while she fixes herself creates a tension that is almost unbearable. The tension is where attraction hardens into obsession. Sign number 3. The triangle of desire. Eye contact is a weapon, but most men don't know how to read the ammunition. A woman who is just a friend looks at your eyes, then up to your forehead, then back to your eyes. It is the social gaze. It remains in the upper hemisphere of the face. It is non-threatening. It is intellectual. Desire drags the gaze downward. When a woman wants you, she looks at your eyes, then drops her gaze to your mouth, then back to your eyes. This is the triangle. She is subconsciously checking the biological equipment for intimacy. She is imagining what it would be like to be kissed by you. She's looking at your mouth because she wants your mouth on her. But there is a variation of this that is even more powerful. It's called the fractured gaze. This happens when the attraction is so intense it becomes overwhelming for her nervous system. She looks at you. You catch her eyes. And she immediately looks down and away. Not to the side. Down. Looking to the side is distraction. Looking down is submission. She is breaking the circuit because the voltage is too high. She feels exposed. She feels like you can see what she is thinking, and what she is thinking is dirty. If you catch her doing this, looking then snapping her eyes down when you lock gaze, do not look away. Keep your eyes on her for 1 second longer. Let her feel that you saw her hiding. That moment of shame, that tiny embarrassment she feels, that is powerful. It means she cares what you think. It means you have shaken her composure. A woman who is comfortable around you as a friend. A woman who is nervous, fidgety, and can't hold your gaze without breaking. She's a woman who is trying to keep her composure because she wants to lose control. Sign number 4, the safe challenge. This is where the nice guys lose. This is where the men who don't understand dark psychology get filtered out. When a woman really wants you, she will not make it easy. She will become difficult. She will tease you. She will challenge your opinion. She might even be a little bratty. She will say things like, "I bet you say that to all the girls," or, "You think you're so smart, don't you?" The weak man gets offended. He thinks she is rejecting him. He tries to explain himself. He tries to prove he is a good guy. He fails the test. She is not attacking you. She is testing the structural integrity of your frame. Biology dictates that a woman cannot surrender to a man who is weaker than her. If she can rattle you with a simple sentence, how can you protect her from the world? How can you handle her emotions if you can't even handle a joke? She pushes against you to see if you are a wall or a door. A door swings open. A wall stays put. She wants the wall. When she challenges you, she is begging for you to put her in her place, not with anger, but with amusement. She wants you to look at her like a cute child who is acting up. She wants you to smirk and ignore her logic. If she teases you, tease her back harder. If she disagrees, do not seek a compromise. Hold your ground. Watch your eyes. When you don't crumble, they will dilute. She will smile. The tension will break. And in that space, respect is born. A woman never desires a man she can control. If she's fighting you playfully, she's fighting her own desire to submit. She's checking if you are strong enough to handle what she is about to give you. Pass the test by not caring about the result. Sign number 5, the exclusionary focus. We live in a world of distraction. Phones, crowds, friends, noise. Attention is the most expensive currency on earth. When a woman is willing to bankrupt her social surroundings to invest her attention in you, it is a scream of desire. Watch her in a group setting. This is the most honest environment. If her friends are talking, but her feet are pointed at you, she wants you. If the room is loud, but she isolates her hearing to catch your voice, she wants you. But the ultimate sign is the back turn. If she is standing in a circle of people and she physically turns her back to the group to face you, closing off the rest of the world, she has made a public declaration. She is risking social capital. She is being rude to her tribe to be receptive to you. Women are socially intelligent creatures. They know that turning their back on their friends is a signal. She is doing it on purpose. She is creating a private room in a public space. She is creating a tunnel of intimacy. In this tunnel, time distorts. She forgets to check her phone. She forgets her drink. She forgets her friend who wants to leave. If you notice that she hasn't looked at her screen in 20 minutes, you have her. In the modern age, ignoring the digital world is the highest form of worship. She is telling you that your reality is more interesting than the artificial one in her pocket. Do not squander this. Lead the interaction. She has blocked out the noise. Now you must provide the signal. Sign number 6. The accidental physicality. Touch is electricity, and like electricity, it seeks the path of least resistance. A woman who wants you will find accidental reasons to touch you, but you must learn to distinguish between the friendly touch and the desired touch. The friendly touch is bony. It's a pat on the back, a punch on the shoulder. It is quick, hard, and devoid of heat. It is how she touches her brother. The desired touch is lingering. It uses the soft parts of the hand. She might brush lint off your jacket. She might compare hand sizes. She might bump her knee against yours under the table and not move it away. That is the key. The lack of recoil. If your legs touch and she pulls back, immediately, it was an accident. If she leaves it there, it is an invitation. She is testing the temperature. She's letting the heat build up at the point of contact. She wants to see if you're brave enough to escalate. There is a concept in psychology called the escalation ladder. She cannot climb the whole ladder herself. Society judges women who are too aggressive, so she puts her foot on the first rung and waits for you to pull her up to the second. She touches your arm. That is the green light for you to touch her back. She fixes your collar. That is the green light for you to touch her hair. She is giving you plausible deniability. If you reject her, she can say, "Oh, I was just fixing your shirt." She protects her ego. But if you accept it, she knows the game is on. Pay attention to the high compliance touch. If you move, does she follow? If you take a step back, does she reach out? Physicality is a conversation. If she's the only one talking, you are being chased. If she echoes your movements, you are in sync. If she initiates the contact, she is starving for it. Sign number 7, the passive availability. This is the one I warned you about. This is the one most men misread as boredom or disinterest. A woman who wants you will often do nothing. But it is a very specific kind of nothing. It is calculated loitering. She just happens to be at the bar when you're getting a drink. She just happens to walk past your desk. She just happens to be leaving the party at the exact same moment you are. Coincidence is rarely coincidence. Women are masters of logistics. If she is in your orbit, she plotted the trajectory. But here's where it gets dark. She will put herself in your path and then wait. She won't say hello. She won't start the conversation. She will look at her phone, look bored, or look away. Why? Because she wants to be claimed. If she approaches you directly, she enters the masculine frame. She becomes the hunter. Most women despise this dynamic. They want to be the prize. They want to be the prey that you hunted down. So, she creates a void. She creates a space of proximity and silence, waiting for you to fill it with your presence. The weak man sees her looking away and thinks, "She's ignoring me." The dark psychologist sees her standing near him and thinks, "She has placed herself in my striking range." This is the ultimate test of your confidence. She is making it easy for you physically, but hard for you psychologically. She is seeing if you have the balls to bridge the gap without a verbal invitation. If you see a woman consistently appearing in your periphery, lurking in your background, hovering in your spaces, stop waiting for a sign. That is the sign. She is offering you her presence. It is your job to command it. Now you see the matrix. You see the proximity, the pining, the triangle gaze, the testing, the exclusion, the touch, and the void. You have the map. But a map is useless if you do not know how to drive. The mistake 99% of men make when they see these signs is they get excited. They smile too much. They start talking faster. They vomit their feelings. "Oh, she likes me. I can finally relax." No, when you see these signs, you must become colder. You must become slower. If you see her hands shaking, you keep yours steady. If you see her leaning in, you lean back just an inch to make her chase. If you see her look at your lips, you stop talking and look at hers. You do not reward her desire with instant gratification. You reward it with tension. You let the air get thick. You let the silence stretch until she can hear her own heartbeat. You let her wonder if you want her because uncertainty is the fuel of obsession. If you hand yourself over the moment she shows interest, you are cheap. You're easy. You kill the thrill of the hunt, but if you see the signs, acknowledge them with your eyes and then make her work just a little bit harder for your validation. You become a drug. She doesn't just want you to know she wants you. She wants to feel that you are dangerous enough to handle her want. We like to think love is soft. We like to think attraction is about compatibility and hobbies. It isn't. Attraction is about power. It is about the interplay between the surrender and the conquest. She wants to surrender, but she can only surrender to a man who isn't asking for permission. These 7 signs are her way of giving you the key to the gate. She will never say it. She will never write it down. She will deny it if you ask her. Do you like me? Is the question of a boy. The man doesn't ask. The man observes. The man sees the collapse of the space, the fracture of the gaze, the exposing of the neck, and he acts. He moves in. He takes the space she offered. He captures the gaze she fractured. He touches the neck she exposed. And he does it without apology, because the woman who wants you doesn't want your politeness. She wants your certainty. You now possess the lens. You will walk out into the world today, and you will see these patterns everywhere. You will see the silent conversations happening in cafes and offices and the streets. You will see men missing the signals. You will see women frustrated by the blindness of the men they desire. Don't be one of the blind. If you want to go deeper, if you want to understand not just how to read the signs, but how to trigger them, then you need to align yourself with this channel. We do not do generic advice here. We do not do just be yourself. We excavate the uncomfortable truths of human nature. If you're ready to stop guessing and start knowing, click subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and leave a comment below with this phrase, "I see the silence." Let me know that you are part of the few who watch, who listen, and who understand that the loudest screams of desire never make a sound. I'll see you in the shadows.